radio?
Nothing. Same thing on TV. Cooking Channel, Cartoon Network. It's the same thing. The same word over and over again.
I heard it started on the East Coast. Went airborne, took over media, radio, TV.
Deflategate, 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 Deflategate,
They're still talking about it. They're gonna hear us.
We gotta make a run for it.
Go.
This is an emergency bulletin from the president of the National Football League.
My fellow football fans, a terrible epidemic has swept across our proud nation. On TVs, radios, Twitter, and in homes everywhere, people cannot stop talking about Deflategate. But we have the antidote to wipe out Deflategate. I have suspended Cam Newton 10 games for cooking on a non-league approved hot plate during an interview.
It's finally over.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Tour. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. As you can see, things are still under construction for Dan and the Danettes to arrive. We will be putting down carpet, throw pillows, nice easy chairs, and of course the smell of fresh paint and turpentine will have a smile on my face for the rest of the show. We are down one Danette today, though. McLovin is out for probably a preschool graduation. Seton, was there any concern that Friday Fritzy might get out of hand or ramp it up since he didn't have his back row partner back there to sort of balance him?
Wow, interesting. You know, I hadn't put a single thought into Friday Fritzy because we came in a little light on the guest front. So I thought light guest front Fritzy was definitely going to overtake Friday, any hope of Friday Fritzy. Not to mention the pressure of next week live guest in studio Fritzy that has been looming over the last 2 weeks. So Friday Fritzy really was like a distant memory at this point.
Mm-hmm. That was very, very accurate and well said. I was relatively quiet today. I did miss my back row partner, and yeah, we're getting ready to go to LA, and there's always that extra pressure when we're looking for a special in-studio guest, and we came in today with Bruce Feldman, a fine guest, to talk some college football and what's going on with the Ohio State suspensions. But
I hate to bring this up, but do you think maybe since we're down at Danette that talking less is not the right decision? Maybe just think about it.
Yeah, but
what would be a better strategy?
No, but I wasn't intentionally talking less. Some of it was looking into other guests and working on things for this week and next week. But in the heat of the moment and looking back, you know, I could have forced myself to say something more. But I've been trying not to talk just for
the sake of talking.
Yeah, but I understand when you're a man down that you know, we all have to step up a little more our verbal game as far as interaction. But I was engaged, and you could be engaged without talking. But you know, we were kind of going through a lot of the deflates.
Was it a good
stuff.
show to watch?
It was a very good show to watch and listen to what everyone else had to say. But I thought everything that needed to be said was being said either by Dan or one of the other guys, and then if I would have said something, then I would have probably just been accused of rephrasing.
Does this count as a day off with HR? Does this count as a day off?
I don't think so. I hope not.
Technically, there was still work being done.
Yes.
You're in the building.
And now, hold on a second.
There's a lot of emails flying. There's stuff. There's a show.
We're getting a little heavy-handed here because
know.
you did have one of your best lines in recent memory, if not, I don't know, this year.
With the David Price thing?
Their David Price
We may
line.
have that cut, I'm not sure.
I was very proud of that.
You did well there.
I don't know how quickly they can turn that around, but I thought that was a good moment for me. It took
Triple
2.5 hours, but sometimes you gotta be patient with these things.
Of course. Well, Deflategate has been smothering us, but there was another guest that perhaps Fritzy could have got. It's Sheldon Richardson. He's back in the news, caught with a gun and weed and a 12-year-old doing 143 with the lights off somewhere out there in the East Coast. Paulie, is there any chance that we'll get a positive story from the NFL to pop out and sort of take over this stuff?
You know, I think Sheldon Richardson is getting a monstrous hall pass. Personally, take it away from the show, I think what he did is one of the worst things I've ever heard about it. To me, it makes it's not even in the realm of what the Patriots have done. it makes what Adrian Peterson did look tame, I believe. This guy was driving around a weed gun, kid in the car, basically entrapped in the back of the car going 145 miles an hour or whatever. This guy I cannot believe he's not in jail. That's fascinating that you could do that and get out. I guess if you got money, you can get out of any bail. But this guy got a big hall pass, which shows if you're young and talented, you get a lot of second chances. And if the Jets are in a quandary now because cutting all-pro linemen is not what NFL teams do. Trading them is tough because nobody wants to pay a lot for him. They want to wait till he's cut. So this guy got a big of a hall pass.
Well, one man who has a hall pass and a second chance is a Yankee slugger, Alex Rodriguez. And Harold Reynolds from the MLB Network called in and said he thinks it's sad that there's a cloud of suspicion that still lingers.
That's the sad part of not just, the whole deal with Alex, but the whole deal with baseball. We've got to a point where we have to question everybody, and that's sad. When guys are doing amazing things and putting numbers up, you still have that little reservation inside you. And Alex, I guess the sad thing is, you look at 19 to 40, and it's just the bad decisions he made along the way. And I mean, really? You don't get 3,000 hits just because you might have taken some help along the way. He's a phenomenal hitter, maybe one of the greatest hitters we've ever seen. 2,000 RBIs? I mean, but it's sad. It really is.
That's an interesting point that Harold makes, is that you're right, you don't get 3,000 hits just because you got some help along the way, and you don't get 2,000 RBIs just because you got help along the way. That being said, certainly helped a hell of a lot along the way. So maybe you only get 2,000 hits and 1,000 RBIs, and that's a totally different career and a totally different legacy than what we're talking about. So, I mean, at this point, with all due respect to him, I mean, Alex Rodriguez is a joke. He's a punchline. He's never going to be taken seriously for anything, baseball related anyway, and hopefully his personal life is in better order than his professional life is. So he may be knocking the cover off the ball right now, but it's said with a laugh.
But it's still fascinating, the quandary that MLB's in. This guy is the leading hitter for the New York Yankees. Guys like that sometimes win MVPs of World Series. I would say he's not a favorite to win MVP of the World Series, but he's got to be if there are odds out there or question. And I love awkward moments, and I'm not rooting for Alex Rodriguez. I could care less what he does. But I root for awkwardness, and I would love to see the Yankees win the World Series and A-Rod win MVP. And
that'd be great.
How we celebrate that, how we talk about that, or how we demean what he did, if he's clean or not.
And what's going through Brian Cashman's mind and other Yankee executives that wish he wasn't there, or even Rob Manfred?
Brian Cashman can't afford to lose. He could afford to have a former steroid user lead him to a World Series. Losing gets you fired.
Tried real hard to get rid of him.
Sure. Well, he did when it was bad publicity. But then last year when he had no hitters on his roster, and realized, hey man, if A-Rod can give me 260 and 25 home runs, he'll be one of our better players. And he's doing way better. So Brian Cashman, it's bearing out what his decision is. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Very nice. All right, well, coming up, we're taking the DP show on a road trip. Yes, very nice. And it's not just to L.A. Oh, but when they do come out to L.A., how are they getting around? Of course, the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. You can go through Marina Del Rey, and Fritzy can tell him where he bought his jeans at one time or where he got coffee. And they can do it fuel efficiently because it's the most fuel-efficient half-ton truck on the road. Hey, Marina Del Rey, look, here it comes, Guts Glory Ram.
Been a while since we've talked college football.
I'm already working on the fall schedule.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to go to a Notre Dame game. Like, I'd like to take the show to Notre Dame. I think that would be fun.
To South Bend?
Yes. Yeah.
It's the finest sight these eyes have ever seen.
Maybe USC Notre Dame.
Oh, we are back here in the box score. Boss, don't be cruel. He's toying with your emotions, saying that you might go out to South Bend to the Notre Dame USC game. Fight on. Oh, boy, Paulie, where would that rank in tailgates amongst all great tailgates?
Ooh, that's a good question. But no show talks about going to more great events than our show.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about going to so many cool events. What's the greatest event we've talked about going to?
I'm gonna say
London Olympics.
I'm gonna say Sochi Olympics.
Ooh.
Because that was at that point I was like, oh, I'm gonna start learning Russian for the next 3 years. This is gonna be so awesome. And that we didn't even sniff that. We didn't sniff London.
You were trying out like furry hats and everything.
We didn't. We're not sniffing Rio either, even though we've got a year to put that together. That's
Sounds like we don't want to
happening.
be sniffing Rio based on what's going on.
Premier, we spent a lot of time talking about Premier League
Yes.
matches. That's never going to happen either. Although we'll speculate a lot about it.
It's like we're on house arrest.
What else? Yeah.
You know what though? Tailgating. No, if you've never been to a Notre Dame game before, you're gonna be surprised of how old school it feels. It feels like 1975 there. I went there for the first time in the early 80s. I've been there maybe a couple times in the 90s, once in the 2000s. It doesn't change. It's very old school and one of the more simple tailgates. It's big, but not grand like the SEC tailgates are with their tour buses and flat screens. Not saying it's bad. It's actually fantastic. And the campus at Notre Dame, it's as unique as you get. It's beautiful, the grotto and walking the campus. You got to get there early to walk the campus though.
All right, well, Seton, Dan has been a USC supporter for quite a while. Would you be willing to put a friendly wager with him for the Notre Dame USC game if you both would attend?
Maybe.
Good for the line.
I'd consider that. Yeah, I'd have to look at. That's maybe like if 1A is us going to great events and being live from them. 1B is all of these great bets that we put together. So chances are we'll put together, we'll go to the USC Notre Dame game and we'll have a big bet for it, and neither one of them will actually happen.
I'm trying to check my dossier. I don't know if I have more outstanding bets outgoing that I haven't paid or incoming that I haven't collected. I think I'm still up, but I haven't collected on any of those bets.
Well, Fritzy, you mentioned that the water might be a bit foul down there in Rio for the Olympics. What if we got you bottled water? Would you consider going then?
I would love to go to Rio. I think it would be awesome if the show went, and you would have to just be careful with the water, especially for my compromised internal system. I would definitely, if there was bottled water provided, and we can stay away from some of that murky stuff. And
what if it was
hepatitis
called
C.
Rio Bottled Water? Like the name of the company was Rio.
That would be
like,
questionable.
What if you're at the beach and a bunch of scantily clad locals, if you know what I mean, in Rio?
Yeah.
Said, hey, Fritzy, how would you
Giselians.
like this nice cup of local water? And then...
I would probably turn it down and hope that they would still be interested in.
But they
hanging out
won't.
I have to prove my.
Like a jug of local water.
It's like a challenge. We will hang out with you and be all naked around you.
Rio,
as long as you
I didn't
drink
say
this
naked.
water.
You filled that in.
Yeah, I would need the nudity would be important.
Guarantee. It had to be a guaranteed
Because
contract.
if I have some kind of gastrointestinal flare in the middle of Rio, so I don't know how great the doctors are.
In the middle of this nudity, gastrointestinal
You'd be like the
flare.
Olympic torch. You'd just be coming out of you.
If I'm going to go, attractive woman daring me to drink some of the local water versus bowel obstruction, I think I have to.
Have you seen some of the women in Rio, though? I mean, it's worth a 90-minute bathroom session.
But I've been through the ringer, and I know that I'm probably better off without the bowel obstruction.
They were down for anything and everything in life. We're super down to party, but you just have to drink this
And
water
it's
the
just
whole
Russian
time.
roulette. You
And
don't
we're
know
going
what's
to take
gonna happen.
bowel flare-ups and all.
And you don't know what's in it or what's going to happen.
Would you still do that?
And anything goes?
Anything goes. They're like, too cool. We're down. We're totally hanging with you. As long as you're drinking
Fritzy,
this
you have
water.
bottle obstructions and bowel
That
issues on
happens
a
anyway.
daily
Right.
basis. There's
This
at least some
would really
upside to
enhance
it.
So if there was some kind of group activity going
Judging
on,
by our bathroom today, though, somebody's got a
What is that?
very unobstructed bowel.
Brock, I would hesitate to bring this up, but we almost had an I-team report, and I put the brakes on it.
I'm proud to say I had nothing to do with that.
I have a simple rule about the bathroom. When you leave the bathroom, flush the toilet. I don't think that's too much to ask.
But it's not even about flushing the toilet.
But watch
it's
my
more.
finger. Watch this. Look, it's not that hard.
But it's become worse, though.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to get too detailed, but also, if you have to go if you have a bathroom serious issue where you really have to get knee deep, if you know what I mean, take a look around. Just take a quick look before you leave the bathroom. Is it like I found it? If it isn't, you're responsible for it. And we have an issue in the bathroom, and I'll bet you it doesn't get touched or cleaned up.
Yeah, because if you're hanging out around it above the rim, I guess.
And you can't expect another human being to
wipe
clean up after another human being in the bathroom. That's not fair to ask.
No, there's materials laying there that would make Rio feel like that they're fine. And
It's like a Rio prep film.
Pretty much. It was not pretty in there.
Yeah, just remember, Fritzy, we are suffering through a drought out here in the West Coast. So if it's yellow, it's mellow. If it's brown, you got to flush it down. That's just a rule. All right, stick around. The set is getting ready for Dan and Danettes. It's AT&T money. This thing is luxurious, for God's sakes. Oh, but do they remember their last trip out here? We will see. The Box Score presents Great Moments in DP Show History.
I'm going to leave the heel on because that's appropriate.
That's fantastic.
And then you have to do your hands up like this, like it's a cheer.
Oh, now we need that.
Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History.
We are back here on the box score. A classic moment there when Carissa Thompson did the splits right here in the studio. Fritzy, she won't be back here this time, but is there another lady you would like to get in here and do the splits for us?
First of all, I just noticed that what I thought was mumbling under my breath got picked up. It's just kind of dreamy-eyed saying, "That's fantastic." I want you to get in that position. And we are efforting to bring her back to reenact that.
You've never tried harder than anything in your life.
I've blown off any type of sports-related guest, and it's all about Carissa next week. Who would I like to see do something along those lines? We've had Brooklyn Decker and Chrissy Teigen. I would probably say, Jennifer Love Hewitt would be nice. We love Erin Heatherton, but I'm trying to think of someone new and fresh that we haven't in. Maybe Alessandra Ambrosio or Adriana Lima, some of my Victoria's Secret friends. And we don't
sort of the usual hit list there.
Friends in your mind.
But I think J Love, that would be pretty cool to see. J Love.
All right, just the usual suspects. All right, well, you guys are primed and ready as you can be to get out here to La La Land for your second trip. But how well do you remember the last time out here? It's time to dust off a classic, another edition of...
Yo! Yo!
Show? What? What? All right.
By far the greatest moment.
Since we are Danette down today, it is every man for himself. Let's start with Seton. What cologne did midlife crisis Fritzy wear in L.A.?
Oh, well, there's only one that you go to, and if it's anything other than Dracar Noir, he is extremely failing in life.
Is it the delicious Dracar Noir?
What is going on with you?
What, my shirt?
Your shirt?
My pants?
Your pants? You have cologne on?
I do have a little, I did splash a little Dracar on. More than I guess I realized, because as soon as I got in the car this morning.
So here's a quick question, Fritzy. Yeah. In 1987, did you buy a lot of Dracar, or did you put in an order and have them send it to you over the years?
I kind of spaced it out so that I would get a little. I won some contest where they were going to give me like the whole shipment of it.
Yeah.
But instead, just let's dole it out so I can mix in a little Paco Rabanne and Paul Sebastian.
You got a little hipster thing going on right now because I was recently in a friend's bathroom.
Oh, is that a cool thing now, Dracar's
and they had Dracar in there.
Really?
And they're not the kind that would be like, dude, it's not 1987. They're way more. They're like, are you kidding me? It's only 2027. Like that kind of ahead of the trends.
And not to give Dracar,
you got a little bit of a members-only hipster
and not to
thing
give them
going
any more
on
free
there.
publicity, but it's actually, if we want to be real specific.
They're not in business anymore.
Are they not?
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I think unless someone gave me a gift that was
they went the way of
years
Cavaricci's.
But what I brought with me, and I'm bringing again, by the way, and I'm
Just
trying not to
outfit?
overdo it. This is Dracar Essence, is what it's called. Is what I wore a few months ago, and which I plan to bring with me again in my little bathroom bag.
All right, well, we will turn up the vents out here. Me, myself, it's English leather, or it's nothing at all.
Check that.
All right,
Right
Paula,
next to the
you're up.
Corporation H cooling gel.
Who did Jerry Ferrera say he got paired with when he went in for his Entourage edition?
Who did he get paired up with, Jerry Ferrara?
Yes.
You mean like in his...
Oh, boy.
He said he blew the audition. He told us he blew the audition with Doug Ellen.
And they chased him out.
And
they
they
were like, hey,
and then Mark Wahlberg actually went up to him and said, hey, dude, and gave him a pep talk and put him in. Who did he get paired up with, though?
It was somebody else in the show. I think it was Kevin Connolly.
I think it was Connolly. I'm almost sure it was Connolly, and they did the dish. Oh, no.
Johnny Drama.
I'm going to go Connolly.
I think
it's drama. It's drama.
I think
Was it Kevin Connolly?
I think I got paired up with Kevin Connolly, and we both went in, and we actually heard some laughter. You sit there and you do a reading, and they kind of, it's yours.
I wasn't even in L.A. and I remember that. That's pretty good. Yeah, I thought that was a really good story. And if you remember, Jerry Ferrara told us the story, and I think maybe a day or two later, or a day or two before, I can't remember which, Mark Wahlberg came on and told the exact same story, but from his angle. He said, yeah, I gave Jerry a pep talk, said, hey, man, you're losing this. You're like a fighter. You're losing this, dude. Get back in there and get that job. And can you imagine if Jerry Ferrara doesn't get that role? Maybe he's a successful actor, but not to this level. There's just no chance because of the odds of how Hollywood works.
All right, this one's for Fritzy. Why did Reggie Miller get upset when he first appeared on the set here in LA?
He got upset. Well, there was two things. One, beforehand, that we let him know we didn't give him enough notice that we were coming out to LA, and his invite came a little late. And that might have been a miscommunication on my part. Secondly, I think he was expecting some type of UCLA or Pacers-related Reggie Miller paraphernalia or memorabilia to be hanging. He didn't appreciate what was hanging on the walls.
So which was the
So I'm going to go with the latter, that, where was a Reggie Miller jersey or something UCLA or Pacers-related, if you'll accept that answer.
Yes, was it the latter?
This is just like Fritzy not giving me a pound sign. I walk right by Fritzy at the game. Say, hey, Reg, it's Fritz. Nothing. So you knew I was coming in the studio. Not one Indiana Pacer thing. Not one sign, Reggie Miller. Are you serious, guys?
Yeah, I have my short-term memory and long-term memory are both pretty much shot at this point, but I'm glad I remembered that. He was upset. I ran into him at a Phoenix Suns game with the family, and he totally blew me off, and I probably should have made it clearer who I was instead of just sticking out my hand for a fist bump, hoping he would recognize me, that I was like some famous person, that Reggie has nothing better to do running back at halftime to take his position with Kevin Harlan to call the second half of the Pacers-Clippers game.
Congratulations to all Danettes. An oldie but a goodie show. You all know your show. You know the box score. We are taking a break because we are only humans. We are not the Ram Heavy Duty. With its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, it doesn't need one. It doesn't have a heart. It has a motor. It runs on fuel and fury. Oh, it's glorious. Guts, glory, Ram.
So where are you right now, David?
Right now I'm in the parking lot for Target in Chesterfield, I believe, Michigan, which is right outside Detroit. So I'm just waiting for the tow truck to come and get my car, and I'm hopping in a car, and they're going to drive me to Toronto now. So it's been pretty a hectic 24 hours, but it could be a lot worse.
We are back in the box score. You guys tracked down Toronto Blue Jays pitcher David Price in all places. A Target parking lot seemed pretty sorry situation to be in, but who better to lend some comedy to than our man Fritz when he dropped this one-liner about Price calling AAA.
I don't know what kind of car he's driving. Can you find out what kind of car David Price is driving? Can't get tires to fit the back of his car. So David Price is a trade to Toronto. At least his presence there has been delayed. Yes, Fritzy.
How does a top player like that now have to go to AAA?
Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah, Fritzy.
Yeah. 2 hours and 29 minutes
don't do
and
that.
43 seconds, you're back.
That was great. Really nice line by Fritzy. Now, I thought it was cool having David Price on. That's where Twitter comes in handy. We saw his Twitter account that he was stuck with his car. And I have an update on the story. About a half an hour after the interview, David Price tweeted out, I'm paraphrasing, "Never underestimate the reach and the power of the Dan Patrick Show."
Really?
A car tire company tow truck pulled up and said, yeah, there it is. When you do an interview with the DP Show, people listen. Got a tire company running over to see if they could help. Thanks, DP.
That's
so,
awesome.
little help. We get the save. Maybe we may get the save.
Absolutely.
We get the save.
That's nice.
Okay.
That's all you
Not
did.
bad.
That's great. But no, those are the kind of things. Those are the special moments to why we all love being part of the show and trying to take it to the next level. And Paulie said to me, "Hey, I don't know if you saw the tweet. David Price is on his way from Detroit to Toronto, and his car broke down, or he blew a tire. Why don't we try to get him on? There's only like 20, 25 minutes left in the show, and it's like, why not go for it? We'll try to get in touch with him, and we get a call back that he was willing to come on, even though he initially wasn't in the greatest of moods, as anyone would be frustrated.
But we could assure our listeners that anytime any athlete or actor or comedian is having a tough time or in a tough situation or having a situation where they're in a jam, we'll be there to call and have them come on the show. When Rob Snyder has his house broke into and all his personal belongings taken, yeah, he wants to call in the Dan Patrick Show. We called him. We tried to get him on.
And it was funny. And the agent said, he's not in the best of moods, but he's going to take this opportunity to come on with you guys.
Is he in the mood to talk for 7-8 minutes? That's all we need to know.
Right. Let's. You know what? Maybe this is a good levity moment for David, so he doesn't get totally frustrated with the situation he's in, and he'll have a little fun and try to laugh it off. And it was very cool of him to come on.
You're on the side of the road in a Target. Let's chop it up. Let's see what happens.
Go on the Dan Patrick Show. Why not? Instead of stressing about your tire, come on with Dan and talk about him hanging out outside Target.
Just fill out the rundown.
Yeah, just turning lemons into poutine. All right, Fritzy, who is on next week?
Next week, well, Monday, Jim Mora of the UCLA coach will join us in studio. We're supposed to hear from the NASCAR Sprint Cup winner at Pocono.
Won't be hearing
We'll
from
part
Reggie
of Monday.
Miller.
Reggie Miller probably will not be joining us. He'll probably never talk to me and the rest of us, especially me, ever again. Tuesday, Horatio Sands and Keith Morrison are both going to be in studio, so that'll be fun. Looking ahead to Tuesday's show.
That pesky DNA.
And playing Bill Hader clips will definitely be on the docket.
Very nice. Well, can't wait to see you guys. We are back on Monday. I got a lot to do. Gotta get to work. Podcasts, iTunes, all that crap.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!